Welcome back to Rebuild Rescue.
The first time I stepped inside the 401 Phoenix, it smelled so badly that I could hardly breathe. Since then, we've disassembled and cleaned just about every square inch of this old airplane. In our last episode, Joe and I were finally able to install the left and right side windows. And I gotta tell you guys, it looks absolutely amazing. Today, we're gonna be removing the heating system, vents, and all the tubing. And then we're pulling out the cold jet dry ice blaster to give the Phoenix one final deep clean.
All right, so yesterday, Greg and Joe were in. I don't know who this guy is. I walked in today and I was like, I'm like, who's the new guy? So yesterday, Greg and Joe were in and they got all these left side windows in. So today, we got to go in there, we got to disassemble all the stuff on the floor of the 401. We have all those vent tubes that run down under the floor. For all we know, there was birds and mice living inside of them.
So after looking at these tubes, you can see how they're just old. You can see where some mice have been chewing on here. Somebody worked on this and then they took the clamps off the hoses and never put clamps on. Instead, they put a piece of tape over it. But right when I pulled this tube off here, see that this is broken. So we're gonna have to pull all these off. I mean, if you look at this, I mean, I split that with my finger. They're old, they're ruined, they need replaced. And then we're gonna have to get all new hoses here. This is gonna be a lot of work to pull this apart. But we'll rebuild this, we'll pull these hoses out, we'll get those parts ordered, and we can get all these ordered. It'll be nice for that to be nice and new, so when you turn the heat on, we don't have like some kind of smell coming through all these vents. So I'm sure that we would otherwise.
Thou shalt not ignore thy checklist. So if you're flying an airplane, you don't want to ignore the checklist. If you're a coffee lover, you don't want to ignore the fact that Rebuild Rescue has the best coffee anywhere, guaranteed. And the thing is, that generic coffee that you see that people can put their names on all over the internet, this isn't generic. This is our coffee. This is a special mix just for us. And if you haven't tried it yet, like these other guys.
Really good. Yeah, no, it's really good. Awesome.
That's a 10.
So when you guys get your Rebuild Rescue coffee, I know you're gonna agree with me, this is the best coffee ever. So to get your bag of Rebuild Rescue coffee, make sure you click the link down below. So if you guys look at this, this is one vent that we took, over here, and the only way to get them out in between everything they're ran through is really to cut them. And I'm glad we're replacing them because they're just crumbling apart. But it's going to be interesting getting them back in place because the hole is like half the size, the circumference of the tube, which I don't quite understand. But we'll figure it out when we get the new ones. Hopefully they're maybe a little more compact, but right now, we're just cutting them up to get them out. So just slice them with a razor blade and pulling them. It'll make a little shorter work of it. But if you guys look like right over there, you can see where the clamp was corroding. And by moving the vent, we also uncovered a little bit of a corrosion on the beam there. It's surfaced, so we're going to be able to fix it. But that's why we're digging in so far, and also too, it's uncovering a lot of dirt we wouldn't have found otherwise. Feeling really good about this. This is going to really, make the project what we want it to be, and that's as new as possible. But I can't wait for it to look new, and to be new. So it's good stuff. I guess I didn't have to cut that one. Screw came out of the inside of there.
That's where that went.
We'll save that for later.
That's spring-loaded, kind of like radiator hose.
Yeah, it's kind of like a radiator hose. It keeps it from smashing. Here's another screw out of the inside of the vent. Probably in there since 1968. Right now, I can smell mouse pee since removing that tube. So I guarantee you there were some mice that somehow got inside these tubes because it makes a great little home for them.
here is where all the mouse smell came from. It looks like it was their lunchroom and their bathroom all at one time. That was all under all these tubes right here. So we're gonna get all this cleaned out. So we got all the vents out. We have the kind of the registers, the receptacles that were against the wall. We got those out. They're all ruined. They're no good anymore. It's just plastic. They're brittle. We were pulling them. They're breaking. I'm glad we took them out. It adds probably another week's worth of work to the project or more. But we can see now where some of the corrosion is. It's all surface. We found a bunch more mouse seeds and smells and nice surprises like that. But getting those out, it's going to get it to where we can vacuum a lot of that out, and we can get the dry ice blaster in here and start blasting all this loose debris, or all even the sticky debris that's here. It's going to make this floor just a lot nicer, and yeah, it'll just be a nicer airplane when we're done. And I'm hungry. You gonna get something to eat? Let's get something to eat. All right.
Does that look familiar to you?
No, it does not. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Is it? Did it come out of there?
Yes, it did. So,
Wow. There's no mold in there.
It ended.
Right.
So this ended up being like the mouse 401 mouse highway.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It smelled like mouse pee. So and you just stuck your mouth on there.
Yeah, I did.
So they don't have any disease. Yeah, they have no disease whatsoever.
No, not at all.
What are you guys doing? You guys got some lunch?
Dude, we pounded a buffalo chicken stromboli.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
don't show that. Don't show that.
It wasn't a large. Just kidding.
Well, thanks for saving me a piece, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no problem.
Man, does that really smell good?
Yeah, it was good.
It looks like it. I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna get suited up.
Cool.
So I'll see you guys out there.
Sick.
And we're gonna finally get that floor completely cleaned up. We've scrubbed it. You guys have seen it in other episodes, but we really couldn't get it perfectly clean. But this dry ice blaster is gonna do the job. I know a lot of you guys on different things we were doing were like, use the dry ice blaster, get the dry ice blaster out. Where's the dry ice blaster? Like so many comments. Well, we have to make sure that we use it for the right stuff and where things aren't gonna get damaged and stuff. So I love using this. This has been an awesome machine. Cold Jet, thank you so much for loaning it to us. It's been great. I actually need to see if I can get one here permanently. So we're going to work on that. But yeah, so let's get at it. I'm ready. So the big thing that we got to do is we got to get all this grunge and stuff that it just, you can't get it out with the vacuum. We've spent so much time, or scrub brushes or anything. So we got to get that out. I don't know if I should take this black stuff off that's coming up. It's so loose.
Yeah, there was a couple spots when I vacuumed it started coming up.
My thing is, do we want to remove that stuff? We'll have to put something down again. It's loose.
I mean, if it's loose, you got to take it up. It'll trap corrosion,
Yeah,
moisture and
that's it.
corrosion.
The really cool thing about the dry ice blaster is it blasts the heck out of everything. It'll loosen anything up that's dirty or that's stuck or sticky or anything. But the one drawback is it does fling it all over the place. So it is all over me. I'm sure I have all kinds of animal poop on me. But as you guys see now, we got to vacuum some of the loose stuff up now. Pretty much once we vacuum it now, and this is stuff, we've went in here with brushes, we've went in there with chemicals, we've done everything. And it's like really clean in here. It just needs vacuumed up now, maybe a little bit of scrubbing. I forgot how well that cleans actually.
It looks way better in there.
Oh my gosh. It's got to be like vacuum everything then, and then blast some more, vacuum that, blast some more, vacuum that. All right guys, so we got the 235 engine loaded up. My buddy Rich, I don't know if you guys remember him, he's the guy that was down in Frederick, Maryland that I got the TB20 from. He said he was coming up here because he's trying to buy that TB20 from us, and he's actually looking at another airplane that we have. And he said he was heading down to the overhaul shop. Where's that at? Down in
Winchester, Virginia.
Down in Winchester, Virginia. So I gave him some engines to take down because, well, frankly, we just haven't had a chance to get to it yet. So we're gonna send them down there. They're gonna get overhauled. Then we can get these engines done. We get the 235 back together, and we can get it flying again. And it's gonna get electric ignition, and it's gonna get poured and polished, and it's gonna get a constant speed prop. So real excited about that, but it was a big favor for Rich to be able to do that because, well, we're just so busy with this 401, we haven't had a chance to get down there.
Let's go.
So if you guys are ever dry ice blasting, keep in mind that it's a lot of air pressure and there's going to be a lot of stuff flying all over the place. It looks worse now than it did kind of before we started, in a way. But if you look, all of that sound deadening material, and I believe that's what that black stuff was in the floor, all that stuff came up so easy, and we started finding areas where it was starting to corrode really lightly under it. And you could tell because it was pretty loose. So if you look here, that was surface corrosion starting underneath of that black sound deadening. You can see it here. So what we did is we broke all that stuff up, and we're gonna get everything all vacuumed up. We'll end up treating that, and we'll end up putting some better, newer sound deadening. I think it's like a sound deadening anti-vibration material down on the floor, and we'll make sure it's alodined and we'll make sure it's treated, which wasn't done from the factory. But now, yeah, it's just a bunch of vacuuming, a little bit of scrubbing, and this floor will be ready to go. But it's really coming together. Excited to see how this looks. This was really bad when we first pulled this floor up, and again, we didn't find any major corrosion. Anything we did find, you know, we're going to be able to get to it now and get it taken care of.
So we got all the vents and all the heating tubes, all the connections and the manifolds for the heating system out of the 401. We got the floor completely cold jet, dry ice blasted, and I have to tell you, it's looking really good. We found some corrosion issues, so just some small ones. We're gonna get those fixed up. We're gonna get those painted, but this thing is coming together really well. Next episode, guys, we're gonna get these front windshields in, and we got the call from Plane Care that our vertical stabilizer is done. So we're gonna pick that up. We're gonna get it put back in the 401. Guys, if you haven't done it, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of Rebuild Rescue. Take care.